Good evening to everyone. History is cyclic and the events occur repeatedly. And we have the 21st century and still we have a war. Nothing new under the sun. So today I want you to represent the idea of war, the nature of war, given by Berdyaev. Berdyaev, who met the First and the Second World War, of course, reacted on it. He wrote a few articles, also he includes his idea about war in a few of his books. And I want to add that today we stand even closer to Berdyaev. It's easier to understand his interpretation because the gap between the 20th century and the 21st century, let's say, is overcame. So we have the pretty similar reality which Berdyaev met. Berdyaev defends monotheistic vision on the war, and why he rejects dualism. It's simple to understand from one example. For instance, one man can say that I am so spiritual person, I care only about the purity of my soul, about my heart, but it's rather faint spirituality. One can suppose that the spiritual life cannot have an expression in this world, but it's a blasphemy. And Berdyaev supposes that war is a spiritual phenomenon, and it has a symbolical character. What is at stake here? That the bottom reflects the top. The external life represents an internal one. So the historical war is a manifestation of internal spiritual war. Violence and killing sign the spiritual insufficiency, the illness of the spirit of mankind. So evil just already existed before war, and where it exists, of course, in human hearts as well. In many cases, war identifies our world. The wars are happened every day between people, families, nations, states, etc., also between the religions and between ideologies. War is no more than an expression of own ideas which can be realized through the power. As Berdyaev admits, war is a way. It means that it's a kind of instrument for the realization of own plans. Envy, jealousy, pride, selfishness lead to a war. Defensive and liberating war can be justified as well as to be accepted as a sacred one. The same refers to revolution. War and revolution represent the judges of nations and people living in isolation from God. So war and revolts are appeared as the consequences of the rupture of divine-human relation. Additionally, the experience of human history demonstrates that barbarians often conquer the nation with high culture. The cult of heroes existed in antiquity, in ancient Greece and also in Roman culture, was transformed into chivalry thanks to Christianity, but from the beginning of bourgeois civilizations the chivalry is disappeared. Firearms began to destroy the chivalrous war. Christian point of view on war is not pacifistic. Humanism, anarchism, as well as pacifism reveal impotency which Christianity must not have. Religious people accept war more easily with all its horrors because they understand the ground of it. Even awareing of evil, they know the reasons, the deep reasons of it. War is an irrational phenomenon because it doesn't have rational reasons, and it would be an irrational step to fight in the name of insane goals. And it is good to mention his article about war. It calls Thoughts about the Nature of War, and here Berdyaev offers a pretty curious idea. He says that who are on the field of the battle participate in war the same manner as those people who stay at home and pray, or those people who stay in churches and pray. Because when we pray, we would like to protect our soldiers, and also we want that the other side, the enemies, would be killed. And of course we participate in this case in a war. We also kill, let's say, our enemies, because everyone is responsible for war and responsible for all what has happened on the field of battle. But still one nuance. Berdyaev admits that the commander who says to the soldiers that you should kill these enemies is more responsible for this killing than the soldiers who kill. And democracy. According to Berdyaev, democracy rejects war, proclaiming an ideal life in peace. That is an absolute pacifistic vision. This is the same as to say to evil that now you are my brother, let live us together side by side. Pacifism denies evil, it doesn't want to know evil. So democracy tried to create a universal brotherhood and external peace, but it is impossible. This world must end and the new one should begin. I remind you that according to Berdyaev there's three eras: the era of the Father, the era of the Son, and the era of Spirit. And now we have, according to him, era of the Son, which should end, and the era of Spirit must begin. The art of war is the art of killing, wrote Berdyaev in his book Divine and Human. This is about time when the nuclear weapon was created, exactly. So, see you next time probably, and let the universe support you. Bye.